Okay fellas, how are they hanging? Peter here. I'm down at the lathe today. I'm just doing a little bit of a different job. If you look in my lathe, what can you see? I'm doing what I'm going to call a speedo drive cable delete. So this started off as a 28mm hexagon nut. You see that flat there? That's all that's left of it. I had to radius the corners off, because it wouldn't fit in the space allocated next to the gearbox. And then I've got to run this diameter down here, and I'm just down to probably the last cut now. So I've just given it a hit with my U-Butte homemade cutting fluid, which is 25% engine oil and 75% Caro. And I'll just do the last cut, and then I'll maybe talk to you. So let's just, I'm probably looking at the job, so I don't know if you can hear me. It gets fucking horribly close to the chuck here, so I'm not going to apologise for any swearing in advance. Let's just give it a whisker and then slowly come out. I never got a great surface finish on this lathe, but I actually think it's a pretty good lathe, and for what I do, I think it's fine. Yeah, not great, is it? But good enough. Good enough. And this is to be continued. G'day viewers, it's a few days later now. So just continuing on with that speedo cable delete job. I've just painted it up yesterday, and so I thought I'd I don't know what you can see actually. So that is the finished job. As you can see, I welded a bit of thin material on the top, and this was the what's left of the nut. As you can see, it's got a thread in there, and I suppose it's come up good enough for a thing that nobody's going to see, and I'll try and explain why I'm doing this. Now this is my Nissan 3N71B. Well, it's identical to the one that's in the car, in the Morris, and it has a cable drive speedo, and the speedo doesn't work in the car. The needle just flicks around all over the place, but it makes a hell of a noise. So I disconnected it from the back of the speedo, and that got rid of a lot of the noise from the actual gauge. But then the cable is whipping around in there, and I can hear that. And so I was going to disconnect the cable, and then I thought, well, I'm not sure if oil's going to come out, and I don't want dirt getting in. So I bought this as a spare transmission. It's actually, it hasn't got a torque converter, but I bought it for $5. And anyway, so in there you can see that is the speedo drive, and see how close it is to that casting there. So if I try, I'm doing this without looking, or trying to look through the phone. So if I just screw this in by hand, it's a 22mm thread. Alright, so that's going on. I don't know if you can see that. And if you look, you can see why I had to machine some of those reliefs in there, and I had to take some off the hexagon. And alright, so that is, I'm going to put a little wipe of silicone just down in the bottom in case my welding was imperfect, and so that's how it looks now. I don't know what you can see now. This one is a 22mm nut. I think I might have said in an earlier video 28 or something. I was wrong. Well, it depends if you're doing across the flats. The thread is 22mm. So I bought a 22mm nut. As you can see, so I've taken the points off the hexagon for clearance, and I've had to put a shoulder on it for clearance against that casting, so I can go all the way down. I might put a little bit of some sort of gasket glue just so that it doesn't vibrate off, because I don't want to tighten it up other than by hand. And then I had to put a little bit of a cap on it, and so I've just hit it off. So to me, that will do the job of a speedo cable delete. It'll keep the dirt. It'll keep the dirt out. It might keep the drive gear in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to take that. I think I'll leave it in there. And I don't know if oil's going to come out of there or not. I'm not smart enough to know that. But this will resolve all my problems, and then I can either remove the cable completely, depending on how big the hole is through the firewall, or I can just tape it up out of the way. It doesn't really matter because I'm not going to use it. So that's a funny little job, but I think starting off with a 22mm nut was just a hell of a lot easier than trying to start off with a plain piece of stock, and it really wasn't that difficult. So I'm going to say uru.